In his contemplation of his own consciousness, he created all other languages. This original man. He uttered sounds and tones. So we know that's not the original language. It is a language that we can communicate beyond languages. I'm going in now. We don't need the spoken language in order to have communication with one another. 99.9% of truth is communicated non-verbally. Because you just know. And if you can't come into just knowing, if your capacity is not to know, then you cannot know. You can only know what you know. Do you hear what I'm saying? If somebody tell you something, you can only know it because you can know it. Because the knowing is in you. And in communication with others, we're just aligning what they are saying with what we know. And that's what resonates with us and what we consider true. If we don't know it, we cannot consider it to be true. So there is a knowing in us that through interfacing with one another, this knowing can be blossomed, can be brought out, can be evolved. But it is a knowing that is inside of us already. So we already know. All of us already know. We're just bringing what is known into manifestation. That is the process of what we call coming into knowledge. It's shaping what we know. Refining it, identifying it, and distinguishing it from all the other scattered thoughts and all the other information that we have been bombarded with in this physical plane. We came with a knowing, and we've been distracted by what we know from all that's going on in the material world. Television, lies, white man's doctrine, teaching, school system, all that is a distraction from what we know. It's a distraction from us being in tune with the part of ourselves that is he or she who knows. So what am I saying? When we get down to a level of black supremacy, we are coming into the know of self without having to use the crutches of these different theologies and religious ideologies. We're coming in the know. We don't need the part that is 1,600 years old. We don't need the part that is 25,000 years old and try to somehow put the puzzle together. We are the complete puzzle. We are the completion of the puzzle. If you get a puzzle and you put it together, you got all the pieces there. They all scattered. And your job is to put the puzzle together. The strange thing about it is you don't see yourself as the most important piece. Even though the puzzle is there and all the pieces are there, something's missing. The most important piece is you. Because you are the one that visualizes, that has the vision. You hold the vision. The ultimate piece is already put together within your mind, right? Without that piece, the rest of the pieces have no meaning. They have no meaning. And they will never be put together. So the biggest piece of the puzzle is us. And if we take any little small piece of it and become too distracted by that and forget about the puzzle, we'll never find out what the puzzle is. We'll be stuck with that little piece forever. And that's how we become with all these different religions and schools of thoughts and this little bit of information here and this little bit of information there. We've got distracted by just little pieces of the puzzle. Well, we don't even see the piece no more. Now we arguing pieces. We're arguing puzzle piece against puzzle pieces because we don't see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is us. The bigger picture is inside of us. It is the fulfillment of our own consciousness. We've said we want people to become conscious. But the problem is we're doing it in reverse. To become conscious of something, you have to already touch the ultimate reality of what you want to manifest, of what you want to see. And then once you can hold that in your mind, then you work backwards. People are trying to get conscious. You follow what I'm saying? They're trying to get to being conscious. But of what? That's why consciousness is so obscure. Because what are they going to become conscious of? They're just going to be on the path of what you call being an information junkie. And just gathering information forever with no, and they say they are becoming conscious. To be able to become conscious is to first be completely in the know of what there is to become conscious of. Am I correct? If you miss that part, then your whole quest to become conscious is an infinite quest that leads absolutely nowhere. It goes nowhere. You're like Indiana Jones with no map. The key is to have the ultimate reality in one's third eye. And then to become conscious of how all of this relates to that. You follow? Not conscious of the Illuminati. Conscious of the secret societies. Conscious of what's on the dollar bill. You follow? Conscious of what they're putting inside of bottled water. But conscious of what? This consciousness leads nowhere. People are overwhelmed by the problems that exist in the world. They feel overwhelmed, but they can't come up with any solutions. They're worried. They're in fear about the fate of humanity and the destiny of humanity. They just have created more fear. They shouldn't say I'm conscious. They should actually say I am fearful. Wouldn't those be better words? I'm fearful. I have received information and now I'm completely fearful about everything that's going on. They should not say I'm conscious, but I'm in a self-induced state of paranoia. Wouldn't that be more accurate? That's what has happened to them. They have literally lost their minds. And when I say lost their mind, they have lost their grasp on the most essential part of all of it. They've lost it. And that is the important piece that makes becoming conscious of any of the rest of it worthy or worth the journey. So I say this, you have to become conscious before you can become conscious. Now to some people that sounds redundant, but some people will get the inner meanings of what I'm saying by that. You got to become conscious of self. And in the process of being conscious of the totality of who you are, life will be you becoming conscious of the intricacies of that. Do you hear me? You conscious of the total picture. But through life, you'll get to know and have an intimate relationship with the entire picture through all the pieces. But if you don't have the consciousness of the totality, none of the pieces will make sense. And the pieces are our everyday life, are the people that we meet, are all the circumstances that we're in, but we can't tie none of it into our divine self. These are just all mundane, coincidental happenstances, just circumstances. Circumstances where I end up with this person and circumstances I'm with these people. It's all just a circumstance. But here it is, I can pick up the Medunatera and read it. And I can read about the historical greatness of our people, but my life is somehow mundane. The living aspects of it have no real relevancy. They don't relate at all. So I got to kind of sift through this stuff and stay focused on my mythological world of black great fantasy. You know what I'm saying? There are no coincidences or happenstances in life. Everything happens for a reason. But if you're not conscious of the bigger picture, you can't reason. You can't reason the situations and circumstances in your life out. They don't fit into the bigger picture. So all this conscious stuff makes great when we're around conscious people. And we can have these dialogues with conscious people. Or people who consider themselves to be conscious in cafes, or just the people we feel like are conscious. But the entire context of what the bigger picture is of who we are and what it all means, we cannot continue to experience that. We cannot continue to live in that awakening. We cannot live in that state of awakening in every moment of our time. We can only be awakened in that moment of meditation. We can only be awakened while that lecture is playing. But after that, man, these ain't nothing but a bunch of niggas. Do y'all hear me? As soon as the lecture go off, niggas ain't shit. And this is the paradigm that we are existing out of. Because if we didn't grasp and we didn't revere the bigger picture, and we cannot live in reverence constantly of the bigger picture, then the rest of it's not going to mean nothing. It ain't going to have no value. It all will be taken for granted. We go through life taking our lives for granted. Taking each moment, not being able to extract the real value out of each and every moment of our experience. Because the value is only in the money. The value is in the trying and the struggling and the doing. There's no value in the being. But once we see the value in the being, the rest that we're trying to do, I guarantee you will be effortless. It will be completely and absolutely effortless. Everything that we say we want to do and create will be effortless when we find value in being. And living in the reality of constantly seeing that. Black supremacy is the core of all of the religious studies. All of them, you name them. The essence of them all is black supremacy. But black supremacy takes the supremeness from them and leaves the rest. It don't need the other parts. The car dealer, the person comes and brings you your car, the mechanic, and says, I'll fix your car. You don't kidnap the mechanic and bring him in the car, do you? You say, okay, you fixed my car, all I need is the car now. The Arab bring us, you all was divine, you all wore these fabrics and wrapped your turbans and, you all created algebra and all this. Okay, thank you for my stuff back. See you later. We brought the damn Arab with us. We go to Egypt and do a tour guide, right? And go take a tour. The tour guide come to us. We never feel at home again. We keep the tour guide with us all the time. Do you hear what I'm saying? That's what we have done with all these different religious practices. We keep the people who have stole it from us, and I'm going to have you. We keep the thief with us. We don't want to get rid of the thieves. Then we start revering the thief because he brought our stuff back to us. Now the thief is so great. Oh, look at this thief. You the best thief I ever met. You giving me my stuff back. But you still a thief. That's why if I said, even if I have read thousands of books from white people dealing with metaphysics, I never mention a reference. I will never give them any credit. You know why? Because it doesn't belong to them. You cannot give people credit for that which does not belong to them. If you do, you are aiding and abetting in that thievery. And you are receiving stolen merchandise even though it belongs to you. Because if you don't know it belongs to you, you're still receiving stolen merchandise. Do you hear what I'm saying? Come on. So if you're giving us our stuff back, and we're the original people, we can take our part from it and leave it there. Leave the rest there. We don't need the rest. Black supremacy leaves all the rest. We can study Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, all of them. But we leave the Arab, Hindu, and Asian. We leave them right there. Thank you. You got my stuff back. Now, don't stick around too long, because you are a thief now. You might steal something else, because I done came up with some new stuff. You gonna get that? Hip-hop? You gonna start stealing the new stuff that I'm coming up with, too, because of your nature to be a thief and not give credit to where it has come from. I say, even with hip-hop in the next few years,